back at it again. Episode 3 of I'm Just Sayin Podcast. I'm Jeremiah again.
And Gabe, week 3, long
week.
week.
Bro. Oh my god, it's just like the weeks getting longer and longer.
The weeks get longer every single week.
Sorry, but like the weeks getting longer and longer every time we film, bro. I just be busy, meetings. Because this was supposed to be filmed, you know, we film, well, we try to film on Tuesday, but this was supposed to be filmed Tuesday, but you know, today's Thursday, but we still got to do it.
Made it almost Friday, almost the end of the week.
Almost a weekend, so we're going to try to get rest for real. I don't plan on doing anything at all because I am tired, man. But we're going to hop straight into it. The Dame trade.
It's the biggest news in sports right now.
Yeah. I've been talking about this trade for a while, even with my friends, like before the podcast. Like about 2 years ago with Dame, like there was like rumors like Dame's going to get traded. Dame's going to get traded. I'm like, he could go to the Bucks and like they could be the modern version of Kobe and Shaq. Like you got somebody that can pull from 40, maybe 50 feet and win you a game, and you got the most dominant big, most dominant slasher in the game, arguably. So I don't think they have a weakness now. Like it sucks to lose Drew Holiday, and but like I think they're set up to be the favorites to win the finals this year, man.
Yeah, so Milwaukee gets Damian Lillard, which is obviously the biggest thing. I believe that's the only player that they get in the trade.
That was the only thing they got,
It was a 3-team trade because they had to pull in a third team, which we'll talk about in a second. But the Portland Trailblazers get Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, they get Kamara, they get Milwaukee's 2029 unprotected first-round pick, which is pretty huge. I mean, 6 years from now, I mean, nobody knows what it could be.
LeBron could be.
Yeah, it could be anything, anyone. So, like, that's pretty valuable, as well as an unprotected pick swap in 2028 and 2030. I heard a lot of people say they didn't really like Portland's package.
I feel like Portland's package is good because you have two young guards. You got Scoot Henderson that you just drafted.
That's what I'm saying.
With a lottery pick, and then you got Anthony Simons who's been hooping.
I think they're gonna flip Drew Holiday. Like I heard a lot of people saying, like, well, they got like I'm not like super low on DeAndre Ayton. Yeah. I'm not like high on him, like first overall pick. Like sure, maybe not like not ahead of like Luka and Trae Young.
But like coming out of AZ, he was a monster though.
But he was pretty good. I think maybe a new change of scenery will also be good for him. Also because like Phoenix has been trying to get off with DeAndre Ayton for like a few seasons now, and that's like that's been tough. I think a change of scenery will actually be pretty good for him, but. And Drew Holiday, I think they're gonna move off Drew Holiday. I think they'll flip him, hopefully, for more picks and more young assets.
Woj was like 76ers were really buying in. But speaking of 76ers, I do think that this trade, seeing how like things are with James Harden and everything else, that this trade is gonna make Joel Embiid the man to trade very soon. I think that's gonna be the next superstar that we see try to move on.
If I was the Heat, I would try to get back Joel Embiid because the Heat really lost out. I think I thought he was gonna be in Miami. I think a lot of people thought he was going to be. Damian Lillard was going to be in Miami.
Did you see that Jimmy Butler video?
Yeah, he was like the NBA.
Like, you got to get the Bucks. Got to be
tampering.
Investigated for tampering.
It's not really tampering. If Damian Lillard openly said that he wanted to go to Miami and he wasn't going to go anywhere to Miami, and like people were talking about, what do you think? Like, do you think the Bucks or not the Bucks? Do you think Portland was supposed to trade him to Miami? A lot of people are saying that they they owed that to him.
I don't think they were supposed to. But, I mean, because like I said, like Damian Lillard is a top guard in the game. He's a top player in basketball. So, you know, they were trying to, like, lowball them on, like, to get Damian Lillard. So
they thought that they were the only team in play.
Yeah, but, like, if I'm telling you, because at first I know they closed the conversation to only Miami for a while. Yeah. But I could, like, after a while, when they said Miami weren't like, giving them what they wanted, of course, I'm going to open it up to the rest of the league to people who are serious and who are serious about winning and trying to get a star player in Damian Lillard. But I do think they did him right and didn't send him. I'm glad they didn't send him like when the Thunder sent Russ to the Rockets, and then after that he got sent to the Washington Wizards. Like that's not a situation Damian's going to be in. Damian's going to be in.
Like I feel
I'm winning now. I feel like Damian Lillard this year
literally got traded to the best possible place.
Yeah, I think so
Damian Lillard could have been traded to.
I think so
because look, him and Jimmy would have been cool. Like that'd be a cool front, you know.
Yeah, but I don't think they were going to win the championship.
But just like purely basketball, you're taking out the fact they want to go to Miami and he wanted to stay with Jimmy. You take all that out. I mean, playing with Giannis is literally the best player.
And being able to keep Chris Middleton
Damian Lillard. Chris Middleton can now be a 3 because I've been saying that for years. You know, I was like, they did win the championship. However, it was
Chris Middleton is the closer. That's
what I'm saying.
Me,
Middleton is the second. Yeah. It's just not the second option. Not in today's game when there's so many. But him as a third option, I like a lot. You're gonna miss defensively Drew Holiday, of course, but
too,
you know, but like. because what are we looking at for a starting lineup? We got Damian Lillard, Chris Middleton,
Bobby Portis,
Giannis, and Brook Lopez. That's a solid one. That's a very lengthy starting five. So defensively, I think they'll make it work. Okay. Like, don't get me wrong, Dame ain't playing defense, and that's fine. But like, he's also going to score 40, which is great. Which is another thing. Like, especially this past playoffs, like watching them struggle against the Heat. It's like they really needed somebody who could turn it on. A ball handler to score. A ball handler who could turn it on. Not just Giannis, because eventually Giannis is gonna, like, he just can't. He does create his own shots, but he can't. Not like a guard can.
When teams pack the paint and like Giannis.
And they foul him, and then
somebody else is gonna have to be.
They either push him to the perimeter and force him to take shots, which he's not gonna knock down consistently, or they'll just foul him and again force him to take more shots. Like, there's ways you can handle. I mean, he's pretty unstoppable as far as players go. He's arguably the best player in the league, but I think that's great for him. Dame too. Like, he might have wanted to go to the Heat and been the best player on the Heat, which would have been really good for him. But at the same time, like,
but I think he likes the situation though.
It's perfect. It's literally perfect.
But it does suck. Like, if they don't win in
they're my favorite to win now.
If they don't win in 2 years, they're probably gonna break it up, just like they did. Because I feel like Brooklyn, when they brought in Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant, they have made owners and GMs like they're tempered with nobody wants to build anymore. There's no more building. It's like, I'm winning now, and if it doesn't work, I'm shipping you.
Because players and teams and everybody's just so like moving here, moving there. There's no like, it's just what I'm saying. You can't get like the Warriors who like drafted all those pieces and built all those pieces up.
But I am excited. I'm really excited. I feel like the NBA is in a pretty good spot. Everybody's like got their own teams, got their duos, But I'm excited to see the Suns getting Yusuf Nurkic and Grayson Allen.
Yeah, media days next week. Training camp starts up, so there'll be definitely more NBA content. Obviously, this is like for NBA fans like myself, it's like the biggest NBA content that you're gonna get in months. But I would say it was pretty good to see. I'm happy for him. Like, I know he might not be super thrilled to be in Milwaukee.
I think the Blazers did right by him though.
But he's in a place to contend, and I think he'll be. I think the Milwaukee Bucks are now my favorite to win the NBA championship.
So finals prediction: Bucks versus who?
That's way too early. Finals prediction: Bucks Phoenix.
Bucks Phoenix.
I don't know. I think you don't think Phoenix?
No, I tell you, I got the Nuggets going right back. I'm sorry.
You got the Nuggets going right back. Yeah. That's pretty fair.
I got the Nuggets. They are unstoppable.
But I don't know. On paper, though.
On paper,
I've been proven wrong a number of times. Obviously, the Nets did the same thing. But on paper, it's like, how are you just going to outscore the Phoenix Suns?
But, like, they can't defend, though.
No, they can't defend. They have no depth. They've gotten a little bit better depth with this trade, which is why the Suns even got in on this trade anyways, is to help out the depth. So I thought they did fine. And they were trying to get off of Ayton for however long anyways, and they finally were able to get off of him. But, I mean, Beal, Brooke, Devin Booker, KD.
Nurkic now.
Got some hoopers. Got some hoopers, man. They got some hoopers. But, we'll see. It's a way too early prediction, but I'm excited. I'm a big basketball fan, so I cannot wait for basketball to get back and to get that kind of content. But at the end of the day, it is football season.
It is football season. Week 3, I was really like, I was texting Gabe over week 3. I'm like, I don't like.
I told him, I was like, it's weird.
I don't know what's going on. Like,
Sunday.
These games suck. Like, these games are like terrible. But highlight from this weekend, the Dolphins almost breaking their record for the scoring, man.
The Dolphins beat the Broncos 70-20. 70-20.
I didn't know how to judge it. It's like, are the Dolphins for real? Like, are these Super Bowl favorites? Because you got to think about it. They don't even have Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is a Miami Dolphin, and Waddle didn't play last week. Jalen Ramsey hasn't been playing. Like, they haven't been healthy, and Tua looks like the MVP candidate through 3 weeks. Like, Tyreek is insane. Of course, he's on track for 2,000. Raheem Mostert looks good. He's a 32-year-old running back. They're struggling in San Francisco to stay healthy. Devon A-Chain had 200 yards on, like, 8 rushes with, like, 3 TDs. Like, I was like, bro, are the Broncos this bad or are the Dolphins this good?
My only thing with the Dolphins, and I keep hearing all that, the Dolphins legit talk, or the Dolphins the favorite talk, Dolphins Super Bowl talk, is they didn't do what they did last week. I mean, 726 yards, 5 rushing touchdowns, 5 receiving touchdowns. So you're not going to see that again. I know that they haven't done that. However, I think they went, what did they go, 4-0 to start the season last year? Again, I think Tua had the highest QBR for like the first week, highest passer rating. Like, Tua looked pretty good, and then Tua got hurt, and then they lost like 4 or 5 in a row. So to me, it just feels like a lot of what happened last season. And like I know you're going to hear me say it all the time, and I'm going to be that guy. I just have to see it a little bit more. I got to see him progress. I got to see Tua's health.
I feel like that speaks to how good Tua can be. Though.
When Tua's healthy, when Tua's healthy, he is a damn good quarterback. Like, he's like actually like. I think he's legit. All those talks about like if he was good, if he wasn't good, Alabama QBs, you know, they've served in the NFL, but like all that talk, like I feel like he silenced it. I feel like he's shown when he goes out there and he plays, like he's a good quarterback.
I like Tua.
But it all depends on his health. So if they can keep him healthy, which the offensive line,
but I think his line is holding up.
Has held up so far this year. They got weapons I mean, you wouldn't even like.
Even the backup came in.
They got a guy signed off training camp.
What's his name? Chosen.
He changed his name.
I don't know. He did change his name about 3 times. A bomb on Patrick Surtain. Like I was like, this is crazy.
They had practice squad guys.
Yeah, I was like, this is insane.
But the Broncos, man, like because what happened Sunday was like obviously, you know, McDaniels has a great offense.
You came off a week blowing a 20-3 lead against the Commanders week 2. Then this week you just got 70 put on you. And it was you just like your offense wasn't clicking for real. You was playing garbage time because they had their 2s and their 3s in. So that's why you were scoring
2 touchdowns late when it was like what 31-0 at half or something like insane, that. Like bro. Unacceptable play from the Broncos. In my opinion, man, the Broncos have been the most embarrassing team like in the NFL. Like obviously
or the Bears.
Obviously the Bears suck. Yeah. But like how many people thought the Bears were going to be like that good? Like you were hoping that they would take strides. You know, they'd shorten up the offensive line. You'd hope that Justin Fields would have gotten better. And even though none of that's happened, I think the Broncos won blowing that lead last week.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, Sam Howell like letting him come back and score 4 touchdowns
because Sam Howell did not look good
and clean up on it. Yeah, like you're letting that happen. You're letting the Dolphins score 70 points. It doesn't matter how bad you are.
Nobody knows what's going on in Denver. Maybe they need an ownership change. They need something has to change because
they just got new owners. Like, I don't know what it is. See, it's weird, but especially like the owners, like they got new owners, and then what they go out, they went out and they paid for a quarterback. So it's like what at the time was the highest paid base contract's been beaten. Like every quarterback that's signed afterwards has beaten it. But at the time, you know, you sign Russ to the biggest deal ever. You go out and you get Sean Payton you had to trade for Sean. Literally had to trade for a coach, which I don't know. You just shows that you're trying to win. You got rid of Nathaniel Hackett. Like you're trying your best, and something is not going right. Broncos. I feel bad for Broncos fans because something's not going right. Man. Obviously, the offensive line is garbage. The defense is garbage. Like it's bad. It's unacceptable. The defense is so bad. Like I cannot fathom the kind of misery that they've been in the past 2 weeks of like blowing.
They have been really bad.
Blowing 20-point leads and then giving up 70 points. I can't imagine the pain that Broncos fans have to, because that's like just the way that they've been losing the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then also just like having Russell Wilson, which we were talking before, like both of us don't even really feel like Russell Wilson's playing bad.
He's been playing pretty good.
I don't think he's playing bad at all. I don't know.
So I don't think it's Russ, but I feel like, I mean, now they're in the competition for who's going to get Caleb Williams.
Yeah, now they're going to try to get I mean, they're playing the Bears this week in the Caleb Williams
teams.
Bowl.
So it's probably going to be some pretty bad football in that game.
It's just weird. I keep thinking about the Broncos a lot, though, because I do think Russell Wilson's a good QB.
Yeah.
I do think he's been playing decent this year, but they played the most ugly brand of football like the past 2 years, man. Like their offense is unwatchable.
But their offense is a little bit better. It's like a little.
It's a little better this year. Their defense is what's bad, because last year they couldn't score touchdowns at all. This year they're scoring, but they're just having people score just getting outscored by tenfolds. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It'll be all right. And moving on. Cardinals versus Cowboys. Former Vol, Josh Dobbs, he was cooking.
Yeah,
he was cooking because he had like a 30-yard run with a little read option. Him and James Conner read option ran straight at Mike. I'm like, okay.
It was pretty great. Okay. I loved watching like all the shows, all like the other sports shows, and they were saying like you got beat by some dude named Josh Dobbs, and I'm like, hey, y'all guys don't even know Josh Dobbs really is VFL legend right there, and he had a pretty decent game. 17 of 21, 189 yards and a touchdown and a rushing touchdown too. So like, I mean, he did enough though. I mean, the Cowboys were 2-0, and everybody had them going to the Super Bowl after 2 wins. You know how Cowboys fans are.
Yeah, I thought the Cardinals would like take it for Caleb Williams, because
I thought the Cardinals were trying
Kyler Murray tore his ACL by week 16, week 17. I'm like, he's not gonna play at all this year. So maybe Caleb Williams are going to trade Kyler Murray for the draft sometime in the draft next. But it's like they're in their games. Like, they're not getting blown out.
They were up against the Giants
the two losses they had, they were up against the Commanders and the Giants. They were up against the Cowboys, and they finally, like, beat the Cowboys. And they got to win.
They've had a lead. I think they've led at the half of every game that they've played.
So it's like, what's going, like, they're trying to win, and he's just, I guess it's probably the chemistry that all of the teammates have. We're not trying to tank. We're not going to.
Oh, well, the players definitely aren't trying to go out there and tank. It's the organization. I mean, no offense, we love Josh Dobbs here, but like that's why Josh Dobbs was only with the team for like 2 weeks before the season started, and then they started him, and like that was on purpose. Like they were trying to put themselves in a position to get Caleb Williams, and I don't know what they plan on doing with Kyler Murray after that. Same with I don't know what the Broncos plan on doing with Russ after that. So whoever Caleb Williams goes to is going to start some trouble somewhere. But Cardinals,
it was a
I thought the Cardinals were going to be the worst team in the league, and they've not looked too terrible so far. I mean, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be too mad if I was a Cardinals fan. I would be mad if I was a Cowboys fan, but at the end of the day, they still have arguably the best defense in the league. I would still give it to San Francisco. They have arguably the best defense in the league.
Are real, but 28-16 win, you know. They kind of figured out Michael Parsons this game. They were kind of going at him. I was watching I keep forgetting his name. It's a black analyst. He's a black analyst. He's an African American analyst, and he talks like he like analyzes.
Like film. On ESPN or who?
No, on TikTok. Like he has his own TikTok and show like that. And he was saying like how they were running at him, they were like, it's hard enough. He's faster than probably everybody on the field.
Yeah,
so
I mean, he's bigger, faster, stronger than everybody.
Running away from him is not going to help because he's going to catch up with you. But if you run at him and you make him think and make him fight.
They ran at him. They made him uncomfortable. They put him out of position. They double-teamed him. They did a lot.
They were doing some things that most teams don't do. So maybe other teams use
that's something I think a lot of teams will use that against Michael. Because to his credit, one, it's like really impressive. Like you get guys like Michael Parsons, guys like T.J. Watt, where like if you can take them out,
edge rushers,
if you could take these edge rushers out of the game, guys like Aaron Donald, you take them out of the game. Well, then the rest of the defense isn't as good. So that just shows how like if you were to do like an early defensive player of the year, like Michael Parsons could probably be really high, if not the favorite on that list. Because of once they were able to figure out Michael Parsons, well, then the rest of the
because I feel like Michael Parsons make the secondary look good, but Trayvon Diggs towards ACL in practice.
Trayvon Diggs didn't play.
So now Stephon Gilmore is the cornerback one, and he kind of got exposed too because Marquise Brown was giving him hell a little bit. So that's something that's exciting to look forward to. And Dak just didn't look like a franchise quarterback.
At the end of the day, Dak is not a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Because I think what were they down? Like they had a chance to be down by one possession with 2 timeouts. Like a little over 2 minutes, and he just made the blindest read ever. Like I think it was Michael Gallup in the back of the end zone on a crossing route. He was getting followed by a cornerback. It was a linebacker on there, like in the hook curl, and then the safety was back there in the back of the end zone, and like he threw it like straight to the linebacker.
I saw those memes. Yeah, I saw those.
I was like, what is he doing? Like
I got an Instagram afterwards. And I saw these memes of like, where was he? Even like who was he throwing it to? Like what was going through his brain? I'm just not a big Dak Prescott fan.
Why do Cowboys fans still have hope in him? Why does Jerry Jones still have hope in him? Like
there's no sense. They should have gotten a better quarterback years ago because they have a Super Bowl winning defense, regardless of what happened against the Cardinals. They have a Super Bowl winning defense. Just Dak, and honestly, overall, Dak's not a terrible quarterback. But if your one mistake is being the most turnover-prone QB in the league, if you're like literally are the worst in the league
last year for interceptions,
keeping the ball, like if you can't protect the football, that's like the worst quality you could have as a quarterback. Like there's no excuse for it. Like other things, if you're like not mobile or you know what I mean. Like there's just a bunch of different things. Like okay, we can work with this or that, or you don't have the strongest arm, we can work with it. But like when you literally are giving points, it's crazy, possessions to the other team, like you can't win like that. And then Dak has proven it over and over again that he I don't know what else they need to see. In my opinion, I've seen it all. So
I have seen enough. But for the last NFL talk, the Strangers 3-0 and the 0-3 team.
Yeah, it wasn't a great. It was a whatever week 3. We were talking about it earlier. It was like a whatever week 3. It wasn't too much, but there were some things that I noticed. I was texting you how
the Eagles don't look
weird.
You were texting me about how the Eagles are not like really impressive.
Yeah, so the Eagles are 3-0 right now, which is not strange that they're 3-0. Obviously, they in the Super Bowl last year, they have one of the best rosters on paper. Yeah. However, if you watch the games, which I think I've watched from start to finish all 3 of their games, I just went ahead. I watched it because Jalen Hurts is my fantasy QB, so I got to keep tabs. But I watched them all, and I'm watching it sitting there they're winning, and they're even winning by multiple scores, but Something about I'm like
this is the first game that they won by multiple scores. They beat the Patriots 25-20, and then they beat the Vikings 34-28 last week. So I mean, I didn't expect the Bucs to have a pretty good game because, like I said, Baker Mayfield is their quarterback, so like they're only going to be as good as Baker is.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. If like Baker can keep them in games,
but Jalen Hurts is just not making the best reads possible.
I hate to say it, but it's definitely Jalen Hurts.
Because he had one passing touchdown to 2 interceptions last Monday, so I'm like,
he had one TD and 2 interceptions. And that's when I texted you was when he threw his second pick, and I was like, and I knew he'd only had one TD, and it was getting closer to the end of the game anyways, and I was just kind of like. I assumed he was going to finish the game. Hit 2 rushing touchdowns, I think. QB sneaks,
but
you're gonna get
the
those.
offense is only moving because of DeAndre Swift and the offensive line.
The DeAndre Swift has been looking good.
Like when he became the starter.
Yeah.
Who he was against the Vikings? He had 175 yards, a touchdown. Yeah. Then I think he just had like 130 this past week on like 20 attempts. Like Swift is pretty good. He's become the bell cow running back.
He has been really helping out. What Jalen Hurts has been lacking, like passing game.
Yeah.
Swift has been making up in the running game, which has allowed Jalen Hurts to even like survive in the passing game. Like honestly, I think Jalen would look even worse if he didn't have Swift there to put it in. So, like I said, week 3, I'm not too terribly worried. We all know how talented Jalen Hurts is, but at the same time, like I'm watching it.
Yeah, I mean the Eagles are still a Super Bowl contender, of course, because of the defense. You know, they pick up Jalen Carter, and then
you got the receivers, AJ Brown,
and then you have DeAndre
like that.
You got Darius Slay, and you got James Bradbury.
Tons and tons of
pieces. I mean, they have
defense
talent.
Looks great.
Yeah,
they're still a top tier defensive team. I have here like Jalen Carter, the rookie from Georgia.
Yeah, he's like the highest rated interior D lineman.
That's what I saw, and he's playing like not even as many. He's technically not even starting.
He's not
just getting in, and he looks great. How the NFL let the Eagles.
I mean, it's a bulldog. It's a bulldog.
Get another Georgia defender, especially another Georgia lineman. Like he looks crazy. The great pickup for them. I hope he gets even more snaps and he can do even better. And he just looks great. Defense on Philadelphia looks really good.
I guess we just have to see. Because I think the Eagles have the Commanders this week, so we're going to see.
Because we talk later.
Jalen Hurts torched the Commanders last year.
But here in a few weeks, the Eagles schedule.
About week 6, they have like the Commanders, the Cowboys, the Bills, the Chiefs, the 49ers. So we're gonna really see how
they're really gonna ramp up.
So,
but they need to pull it together. I don't really anticipate them winning that many games if they play like that.
I think Sirianni and Jalen are gonna like get in film like, bro, you have to be better for us to be fully successful and get back to the point where we're even in the talks of the Super Bowl. So, but on the flip side, the strange 3-0 team, we're gonna go to the strange 0-3 team. What's going on in Minnesota, man?
Minnesota's weird. Like we had mentioned it. I think we talked about it like every single time we've had a podcast so far because they've lost every single week. I love Minnesota, but at the same time, like I think we keep mentioning that last year. I should have looked it up by now.
The point differential.
How many games that they've won by single? How many single touchdown
games? Were they like
an
11-win team?
I think they won 11 games last week. But I forget how many wins of theirs were only by one possession.
Yeah, your point differential for the season was +7.
And so when you have those flip games, like it could have happened, and it's happening right now. Because I mean they're not getting blown out. They lost to the Chargers 28-24.
And then they lost last week, like I said earlier, 34-28.
Yeah, they're not getting blown out. They're in these games, but like now they're having the season where thhere on the flip side of that.
And
if it's like a 50-50 game.
The offense looks much better. Kirk Cousins is leading the league in passing yards.
So that's why they're the strangest. To me, that's why they're the strangest.
That's
why they're the strangest 0-3 team, because I think the only 0-3 teams left are like the Bears and the Broncos, and then it's
they
suck.
Vikings. We
and
know
they
suck. Not good,
But then it's the Vikings who literally have Kirk Cousins
and just the league's best wide receiver in your team as well.
So you have literally the best
with Jordan Addison. T.J. Hawkinson looks good.
DeAndre still looks good.
Madison didn't even look that bad last game either.
Passing is great, but at the same time,
it's the defense, man.
Well, the defense is awful. Like actually awful. Like I don't know what's going on there. If they just didn't add the pieces they needed to. The defense is bad. Offensive line is not holding up, which is fine because Cousins has the pieces and has the talent to make the offensive game going. But when you're forcing Kirk Cousins to just stay in the pocket and pass and pass, then you can't run the ball. And if you can't get the running game going, like at the end of the day, like you can devalue running backs all you want. If you can't get that running game going, like we said, we're missing Dalvin Cook. Like they are missing them. Like if you can't get that running game going, you're not going to get the rest of the offensive going. And everybody's playing them right. Like if you force, it's kind of like to flip it back to basketball. It's like, and I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is LeBron James, but it's like LeBron James can hit threes, but it's like forcing LeBron James to beat you off of a 3-pointer. Like, you don't want him to have
Or you can say Ja.
Yeah, like Ja. Like, if you wanted to, like, if you were like, it's like letting them shoot. You know what I mean? That's basically what they're doing.
I just feel like
as defenses are sitting back and be like, let Kirk pass. Like, let them beat us in the air.
Because you remember the Chargers did. Because I was like, bro, what are the Chargers doing? They instead of like icing the game, they could have iced the game and like kicked the field goal or something. I think they went for it, and the Vikings came back, got the ball back, and stopped them on 4th down. So I'm like, maybe. So I thought the Chargers about to be the 0-3 team out of this, and then like you can't force Kirk Cousins to be a Patrick Mahomes or Josh
No, because he's not. That's what I'm saying. Like,
because he's a literal game manager and he does his job. Like, you can't force him to do that. So when you put Kirk Cousins in those situations to do that, it's like, what do you expect? Like, you're not going to win those games.
Honestly, like I said, like thinking about now that I'm thinking about basketball, it's like almost like making like in those finals, making like Klay Thompson.
Yeah, like Klay Thompson can do it, but like
but if you're like forcing
you can't
Klay,
force Klay to be
you can't force Klay to be Steph.
Yeah, you can't.
The same way you can't force Kirk Cousins to be Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. You can't force him to be Josh Allen. He's not going to do that. So that's why I think teams are sitting back and it's like, all right. I mean, like, let Kirk Cousins throw it to
Kirk Cousins
Jefferson
has to beat
all
us.
You want. Yeah,
because we're gonna limit Jay Jettis. He's gonna get his, of course, but we're gonna limit Jay Jettis. Make him throw it to Osborne, Addison, even T.J. Hockenson. I'd rather him do that and instead of Jay Jettis and allowing Jay Jettis to beat us.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
They're figuring it out. They definitely.
I don't know who they have this.
Not to get too much on Cousins.
I think they'll be I mean, Cousins are good. I'm not saying
it's definitely the defense. The defense is like the number one factor in a while.
But the defense is making him try. You got to admit that, like, if your defense is that piss poor, you got to have a top quarterback, like a top 3 quarterback in the league to like. Really, like,
to make up for that, and even like I don't even know like the best quarterbacks can make up for that. But 0-3 is a hard hold.
But I think they'll eventually flip it, hopefully. But if not, things are going to change, and you probably look forward to somebody being moved, maybe even Kirk Cousins being moved, because they're like,
I heard rumors about the Jets.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't know if that makes anything.
I want
much
the Jets.
Better.
I hope the Jets pick up Colin Kaepernick, because I think J. Cole even released his letter, so we'll see. Moving on, college football, man. We talked about this last week. What would Colorado do against Oregon? And I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect them to win. I wasn't one of those unrealistic. I'm a believer, and I didn't think as a first year coach, you're probably not going to beat the best teams in America. And I think, and no matter how good I think Deion is, no matter how good of a coach I think Deion is, and his coaches, no matter how good of a player I think Shedeur is, and Shiloh, and Dylan Edwards, and all of the rest of the players, Xavier Weaver and Jimmy Horn, is like, you're not going to beat the best of the best teams in America. Like, these are the best teams in college football. So I didn't expect a good game. Shedeur played decent. He had 150 yards and 1 TD. He was sacked 7 times. And that was the thing that I said last week. I said the key to them beating the best teams are the line. Like, it's the line. Like, O-line, you got to protect your quarterback. Even Deion said, he said, no matter how good your quarterback is, you have to protect them.
So that's what we said. We said the only way that Colorado's been winning these games, and it's interesting. They lost to Oregon 42-6. Yeah. It was a bloodbath. It was tough to watch. And we said the only reason that they even won the games that they were winning before was because Shedeur was like Shedeur wasn't the one winning the game.
He was being unreal. He was being unreal, but. I don't know. Bo Nix played pretty good.
Well, they pulled him. Those are like basically
I think it's like first half.
Pulling them out like midway.
He had 276 yards and 3 TDs, and he probably only missed max 5 passes too. So he had a really good completion rate.
No, his completion rate was actually kind of insane. Actually,
it was like a really good completion rate.
Because I think I saw at like
because I know the first quarter he was like 20 or 22. He was like 20. What was it? Let's see if you can find it quickly. What was it?
Trying to find it. Okay. 28 of 33.
Yeah, I told you max 5 passes. It was 28 for 33.
84% completion.
That's crazy. Like, that's pretty. So I feel like that speaks to also, like, you're not getting any pressure up front because they couldn't stop the run either. They could not stop the run. Like,
both sides, Oregon, both
lines are straight. Like, they're just too small. But I feel like as Deion continue the builds of the program in Boulder, he's going to get bigger linemen.
Oregon definitely ran up the score on them. Don't get it wrong. Like, I'm not trying to apologize. I'm not trying to apologize for Colorado, 100%. But at the same time, like, I would say most like people who watch college football and are like actually college football fans and get and understand it, like, didn't expect Colorado to win the game. I feel like that'd be very unfair to like change your expectations and then be all of a sudden like, oh, Colorado's going to be Oregon. Like, 100%. No, Bo Nix is too good.
Yeah.
Their receivers are way too good. They're too big. Like, they're just much bigger than Colorado is. Just in, like,
and then plus, you're basically missing like 3 football players. You don't have your special teams. Travis Hunter, no offense.
I still think Travis Hunter's their best player.
Yeah, your best wide receiver, your best DB. Like, you're missing 3 players almost just because he's out.
Shadur's fantastic, but I still think Travis Hunter's their best player.
But I think another thing that I noticed while watching Shadur, I was like, bro, you have to throw the ball away.
Yes.
Like, you can't always try to make the Patrick Mahomes-esque plays. You can't always try to make the Caleb Williams-esque plays. You have to throw the ball away, especially with your circumstances of knowing your offensive line. Throw the ball away.
Yes,
because you're losing. Like,
to find another day
it was
too.
One drive, and he's like, got sacked first 18. He got sacked second down. 2nd and 24. He got sacked third. It was like 3rd and 30. I'm like, bro, you can't take 3 sacks in a row. Like, no, you can't. You have to throw the ball.
You gotta live to fight another day. Live to fight another down.
Yeah.
And he'll learn that. Like,
I think in film, like Deion and then his quarterback coach and then the offensive coordinator is gonna be like, look, Shadur, we don't have the biggest line. Yes. You gotta throw him, especially going up against USC this week. Another week without Travis. Because Travis, did you see the graphic on House of Highlights? I don't remember. But he was like, Travis Hunter texted Deion. He was like, I got to play next week. Forget it. I'm not hurt no more. And then Deion was like, no, your future was brighter than mine had ever been.
At the end of the day,
it matters getting to the NFL.
It's year one. You're not gonna be a national title contender year one. They're playing at the level that I think like people are.
No, I expected them to be like, okay, like they're playing. They've already exceeded expectations.
Yeah, they've already exceeded expectations. Now should have scored a touchdown. Like. Yeah. Even with you would expect no matter what, as talented as Shadur is.
But I feel like they
should have scored more touchdowns.
They should have got down. Yeah. You could tell it was like Shadur was like cause Shadur is usually hyped up and animated and stuff, but like even his 16 got down.
Got to him.
But the only problem I had with last week was Dan Lanning. Like, that was very you could tell it wasn't classic. Like, they're not fighting for clicks, bro. Deion has been primetime Deion Sanders. Since he's been in the NFL, that has been his personality. So of course he's gonna.
People are mad at Deion for being Deion Sanders.
Of course he's gonna pass it on his players. Like, of course he's gonna make them believe I'm prime. He's been there. So I feel like he said, he was like in the press conference, he was like, coaches are not even trying to coach their kids to beat my team. They're not trying to beat Colorado Buffaloes. They're trying to beat Deion Sanders. And I just feel like you're classy because if you don't remember, was that 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago. Dan Lanning, his first year as head coach, he got beat 49-3.
It was last year.
It was 49-3 Georgia. It was 49-3 to Georgia, and then Kirby Smart didn't say anything to you about that. Yeah. Kirby Smart didn't say any classless. He didn't say any classes coming to you.
And they had their whole film crew out there, recording it like a mini movie. They made a documentary on it.
Because now you just bro, come on.
Honestly, low key, I mean, I don't mind Dan Lanning's comments only because if Deion can talk, then sure Lanning can talk, and sure, it's whatever, it's football. You can talk all types of trash. But I was wondering about how much media that they were doing. If you
that's what I'm saying. You could tell
their media team basically.
It wasn't even about football at that point. It was about I'm gonna be Deion Sanders. It's just at that point, bro. You're trying to fight for a championship.
That's what I'm saying.
You act beating Colorado was your
for
national
Oregon because Colorado.
Yeah, it was they have that much real estate in your head. They were we beat Colorado. Bro, Colorado was a 1-11 team last year with a whole new coaching staff. He wiped out all the old players. Of course, you're going to beat them. What did you expect, bro? So you're just doing it to look cool and have a cool comment.
Yeah, because it's Colorado.
That's bro. I don't even have respect for you, Dan Lanning. That's insane, bro. But I don't know, Colorado. I feel like.
Don't be surprised.
If it'll be better this week.
Don't be surprised if you see another similar outcome.
It probably will
be. I want people if I could talk to people, and I'm not even a Colorado fan, so I have no reason. This is just my genuine opinion. Don't change your mind about Colorado if they get blown out again at USC, because they probably will. Ultimately, if they play, because I think USC is a better team than Oregon. I don't know if 42-6 will happen again.
Yeah, but it probably won't. But
if you see a 35-10 or something, well, that's a lie. Honestly, USC be letting
probably
I'm
thinking
all the time.
28-14, 35-14 type of win.
But
I don't really I said I don't.
Another double-digit loss. Don't I don't know. People are just so casual to where they they're just watch. They only look at social media, so then they look at then they think that Colorado's supposed to beat these teams, and like you're not supposed to beat these teams. USC is in the business of trying to win national titles. They should blow out Colorado. Like in theory, they should.
They're the top 4 team in the.
I think they're top 4, top 5 team in the AP poll. They're one of the favorites to win. They literally have like the Heisman favorite and like the third highest odds to win.
Is it Georgia, Texas?
It's Georgia,
Texas. I think USC 4. Like, it's Georgia, Texas. I really, I don't want to get it wrong, but I think it's Georgia, Texas, USC. I'm trying to I just want to see top first. 4. Who would be in the CFP right now? Oh, Michigan. Yeah, I forgot Michigan.
Yeah, so Georgia, Michigan, Texas, Ohio State.
Oh, Ohio State.
So they're 8th, but they're a top 10 team. They failed at 3 because they let.
They had a close game.
Who they let? Was it Arizona State? I think they let Arizona State score like 28 on them. So they dropped a few. But last week they were ranked 5th. Yeah, but like
I don't know, man. I mean, like I said. A lot of they have already exceeded expectations. They really have nothing to improve.
Yeah, that's what I mean. To keep this in perspective, like especially for Saturday.
Yeah.
If USC ends up like blowing out Colorado again, like right now the AP poll dropped Colorado out of their top 25,
which is insane just because of one loss.
So we're assuming that let's just for argument's sake, we're assuming that Colorado is not a top 25 team, and they are playing the 8th best team in the country.
Yeah.
If they
played the 9th best team in the country last week.
Yeah, so if they lose this game, like that should, you know what I mean? Like let's be realistic. Yeah. Like you have a non-ranked team playing the top 10 team, like they should lose probably by double digits.
Probably 21-point spread once again this week. So.
I don't know. Whatever. We're probably going to talk about Colorado a lot, but Tennessee, man. And then to close it out, obviously we're
How you feel about this past game?
So we beat UTSA 45-14. I thought the first half looked incredible. And you saw Joe Milton's first play of the game, 81-yard, read option, just pulls it, takes off for 81 yards. It was crazy. It's like hard to watch 245 pounds move that fast, 6'5", 245 move that fast, and that he looked great. That looked awesome. That got so psyched.
It had Nealon rocking. I was in my apartment, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, Nealon was rocking. There's like a few, I don't know if it was the next touchdown or a touchdown or two later, that like 20-something yard bomb to Ramel Keaton that he was at, or it was probably longer. I think it was 40-something. He had like a 45-yard touchdown pass.
I watched the game. I'm like, I said we probably going to get our feet wet this game. Probably open up the offense. We had a bunch of shots, and I was like, okay, now we're looking like
shots, and that's what I like.
Now we're like the number one offense that we had last year where we took shots. But Joe, like I said, I didn't blame. Like after last week, I was like, nah, it's the OC. Like we have to get better at this.
OC, offensive line.
But like we opened it up a little bit.
No. Good. I love that we took chances and that we took shots. We didn't convert all of them, but we looked pretty. That first half looked pretty great.
Joe played pretty good, but he had a harsh little.
Okay, so
tackle.
I saw a lot of people talk about the second half. I think we only scored one more touchdown in the second half. It didn't look great. Punted the ball a number of times. We had to kick a field goal at the end of the quarter, the second quarter. It wasn't as great and as smooth, and definitely could have been better from everybody, including Joe. However, maybe I'm just being optimistic. I'm just going to chalk that up to, if you watch the game, if you watch, the recaps or whatever, you saw Joe Milton at the end of the second quarter, got, smushed. His knee went, I was straight up worried. His knee went in a position that
and then his neck, went down.
His neck, his knee, he basically got, twisted.
Then I saw Nico warming up. I'm like, oh, this might be serious.
Yeah. So he basically got twisted. They brought him into the medical tent. I saw some pictures, online that he went to UT Medical Center Monday to get some MRIs, and from all the reports he's doing okay and he looked good, but at the same time he bounced up and he did play. I guarantee you he was hurting, his knee had to be hurt. That did not.
But I haven't really heard anything about.
No, I haven't heard anything. But that second half, I'm just gonna for argument's sake, I'm just gonna say that second half didn't look as great, but at the same time, he was thrown off that back foot. That knee was probably hurting. They put a brace on him, which is just awkward.
I think all of it was precautionary.
Yeah.
Because if it was that serious, he wouldn't have got back in.
And he's fine. It's just that that's why we didn't look. That's why we didn't put up another 25-30 in the second half. The reason we let 14 up though that I wasn't as thrilled about is that the defense could look
very last year. I was like, oh snap!
And that's what it is because
maybe last year
we had 4 sacks, I believe, on the day, which is great. I think we're second in the SEC in sacks. Tyler Barron, you got Aaron Beasley. They all look pretty great. Amari Thomas is that guy. They look pretty decent. We could shape it up a little bit. Warren Burrell had an interception, and then T-Mac had an interception. 2 interceptions and 4 sacks. We were kind of causing some trouble to the quarterback there. However, the secondary is...
We got to get better.
Again, same as last year. The secondary is not looking good. Like, we got South Carolina coming to town on Saturday, and they honestly, like, at the end of the day, like, this is a must-win game for us.
I don't know his name, but did you see that wide receiver?
Yes.
He's like 6'4", 250.
Yeah.
I was like, bro.
Yeah,
like,
dude's a monster.
Like, what? Like, yes. he looked like DK, but bigger a little bit.
South Carolina ended our...
Yeah, they ruined CFP for, bro. We ended our
playoff hopes last year.
But Cooper Mays is back. Did you see that?
Cooper Mays is back, and he'll be starting, which will be huge for offensive line, actually. But Spencer Rattler threw 6 TDs on us last year. He's been kind of slicing and dicing if you've been watching the games these past. He played great against Mississippi State. He played well in the first half against Georgia. If our secondary plays like they did against
maybe hopefully.
If our secondary's been playing like they've been playing all year, honestly, South Carolina
gets us right. But I like I said, this is not a pushover. This is not a guaranteed win at all.
No, this is like I think this is a must-win too. You can't drop to 0-2 in conference play. Yeah. So we got to avenge last year. Hendon Hooker tore his ACL. Like, this is a must. Like, this is like the must-win game. Like, because Alabama, Georgia, like you say, those must-win games every year. You win those, you lose some.
Yeah.
You mostly lose, but it's just one of those things. But like, with everything that happened last year, with how Tennessee's been playing this year, already losing to Florida, have to be South Carolina.
We may have a good game.
You got to be South Carolina.
It's going to be exciting to watch.
It'll be an Neyland home field dark mode, which is going to be really, really tight.
I love UT's media team. They're good.
No, it's great.
They are great.
Yeah, shout out to the media team because they're all really, really good people. But that...
I think we may have a little bit more to talk about. Hopefully next week. Hopefully the NFL is better. Hopefully college football is better. So
we can talk about the Caleb Williams Bowls.
Yeah,
which I think would be fun to talk about. Honestly, just the 0-3 teams meeting up. But college football, we got hopefully we'll come back with a Tennessee victory.
But keep leaving us feedback. I try to interact and watch the comments a little bit, but I'm keeping interacting with the comments. Keep leaving us feedback or anything that y'all wanted to hear us talk about. Still, we're gonna still keep working and seeing what our best format would be. Like maybe even including the light topic. Still, we're still trying to work on that.
This one's a little shorter, so a little more condensed.
We just wanted this one to be a little bit more concise, and plus we didn't want to just ramble about stuff that we knew wasn't good to talk about.
Yeah.
But like again. Keep leaving feedback. We appreciate all the love, all the support of friends, family, peers, classmates, all that. Again, I'm Jeremiah.
And Gabe.
You listen to I'm Just Sayin Podcast. Peace out.